Welcome to part 3 of the Planet Wallywood mini tour videos, the Chaney Room. As you can see here on the door, I've been practicing with my assault rifle at the range. I did pretty good, but I was pulling a little left that day. Anyway, over here we have, before we go in, we have the Billy Zane Phantom costume, the tights and leotard that he wore. Silk screened, very cool. This is the one that he wore in the scene where he got the knife wound in the side. You can see right there, there's the knife wound. And Billy Zane was kind enough to sign a photo of him wearing it. As a baseball fan when I was a kid, I always liked Brooks Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles, and I bought a replica of Brooks Robinson jersey that he had signed. And there's a picture of Brooks and I back in, I believe, 1970. Some signed albums on the wall: Roger Moore, Britt Eklund, Maude Adams, The Airplane Cast, Bo Derek, Jesus Christ Superstar, Looking Glass, Weird Al Yankovic. Over here we have the very first appearance I ever made in a comic book. There I am right there in the UK version of Spider-Man. There's the original pencils right there. The artist was kind enough to put me in a cameo. I got a really nice letter from the creator of Garfield, Mr. Jim Davis. And there's my signed Bo Derek poster right down there. So let's go into the Chaney Room and see what's happening. We open up the door and we see what looks like an impromptu wax museum. Let's go take a look, shall we? First of all, my friend Ruben Procopio, famous artist, did a thing for my birthday a few years back. This is my wall of fame, where anybody who's a celebrity comes over and signs my wall. And I'm very happy to have those because I've been lucky enough to have a lot of celebrity guests over. This used to be my fully functioning makeup and costume room when I was doing a lot of on-camera work, but now it's just full of hats, masks, makeup, solvents, glues, hairsprays, prosthetic teeth, jewelry, miscellaneous stuff. I could still probably use it as a functioning makeup room, but I've turned it into more of a display room. Back there's a picture of Adam West wearing the costume that we made for him back in about 1996, I believe, for the 30th anniversary of Batman. Some Laurel and Hardy figures. This is a Chaney case, which has a lot of Lon Chaney stuff in it that I really, really enjoy. The makeup kit here used to belong to the late, great Leonard Stone, character actor. This was his makeup kit that he gave me. Happy to have it in the collection. And some more Chaney stuff, and etc., etc. Alright, so over here, first of all, on the tour, this suit here used to belong to Jack Lord, Steve McGarrett on the old Hawaii Five-0 TV show. And in Jack Lord's collection, he still had some of the original badges, ID cards, and Jack's personal business card. So over here next to him, you see this very familiar looking guy, Beetlejuice, the ghost with the most, the ghoul with the coot.
What I got here tonight? Go ahead. Make my millennium. Learn to throw your voice to your friend, Butterpart. Sandworms. You hate them, right? I hate them as well.
The head was carved by Henry Alvarez, done by Sergio Lopez and Jim Ojala. And I did the moss myself because I used to be Beetlejuice at Universal Studios from 1994 to 1998, and this is one of the costumes I wore in the show. And of course we have the little headstone speaker down there playing the clips from the Beetlejuice movie. Our next figure is Jonathan Frid as Barnabas Collins, sculpted by a guy named Daniel Horn, and again hair by Sergio Lopez, and Jim Ojala helped put this together. This is the costume I used to wear when I used to cosplay as Barnabas Collins. However, I never had anything quite this cool. This wolf's head cane here, it actually belonged to Jonathan Frid. It was his personal cane that he would take to conventions. He had it made up by a jeweler, apparently, in New York to take to conventions. And when he passed away a couple years ago, his nephew Don gave it to me. And as a piece of history in the Planet Wallywood Chaney Room Wax Museum. There's a picture of Jonathan Frid back there, signed, and of course a picture of Mr. Frid actually holding the cane back in the day at on the convention circuit. Here's some photos that came from Jonathan Frid's house, some personal photographs. And next to Giant Barnabas is Little Barnabas. This is the very rare Ben Cooper Barnabas Collins Halloween costume. Of course, as an actor, you start dressing up as other characters right around Halloween. It's your favorite holiday. So even though you're wearing this costume and trick-or-treating, you're actually in your imagination looking more like this guy. So that's the great thing about being an actor and getting to dress up, is you throw your imagination into it, and a $1.98 Ben Cooper Halloween costume, and you're good to go. Of course, this little Halloween boy here is reading his Dark Shadows Gold Key Comics manual, or digest. Next to him is Michael Crawford as the Phantom, sculpted by Ryan Bean, and again put together by Jim Ojala. Very, very nice job. Striking a pose there as the Phantom does. Now the bow tie is not Michael Crawford's. The bow tie actually belonged to LA Phantom Davis Gaines, and he signed the inside of it for me and gave it to me. And of course the wonderful part about the sculpture is you can see underneath the full prosthetics on his face, similar to this photo up here. So it's kind of a cool paint job, great sculpting job by Mr. Bean. Over here is me at the age of 6 as Mickey Mouse on Halloween. Again, drawing inspiration from all sorts of things. Now I found a replica suit, one of the Ben Cooper costumes, that is exactly like the one I had. This looks like it's hardly been ever worn. It's in fairly good shape. And I found a Milk Duds box, a vintage Milk Duds box, and an old trick-or-treat bag, so little Halloween Mickey is in here amongst everybody else. I don't know if you remember the Disney movie The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh. Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow, had this costume made up for Halloween a few years back, and it actually appeared in the bonus materials of the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh DVD box set. This was fun to wear, although it was a bit tough with the sticks in the shoulders. You could not make it through most doors. And a Patrick McGowan signed lobby card of Scarecrow of Romney Marsh in the original 45, which sung by the Wellingtons, featuring my good friend Dr. George Patterson. Here's some other stuff, some cowls, some masks, various things. And over here we have Nick Castle as the Shape from the very first Halloween movie in 1978. And looking very foreboding. Over here we have Bond, James Bond. Sean Connery as James Bond. And the head that you see here was from the Movieland Wax Museum. They had gone out of business several years ago in Niagara Falls, and a friend of mine bought a lot of the molds for the head sculptures. And Jim Ojala did another great job putting this one together with the 60s shawl-collared tux, the cufflinks there, and the typical James Bond stance. Next to him is the man of 1,000 faces for whom this room is named, Lon Chaney, the guy who pretty much started everything in the makeup industry in the silent films. Next to him is Andy Kaufman in his Elvis costume. Here he is, as seen on Saturday Night Live back in about 1976 or 7. And standing next to him is Andy in the original Elvis costume. Andy had 3 Elvis costumes. This black one was his first one. The second one was a 2-piece white one. And the third one was a 2-piece blue. The 2-piece blue one was sold at a yard sale for, I think, $30. And the 2-piece white one is in the possession of Andy's brother, Michael. And I've got this one. Here's a little collage for the Man of 1,000 Faces with his signature in pencil. And just some of the characters that he's best known for. A lot of head casts up here. Lon Chaney Jr., Boris Karloff as Frankenstein, Glenn Strange as the Frankenstein monster, Adam West, Alfred Hitchcock, and Robert Englund. And over here we have the boys, Laurel and Hardy. And a little Halloween boy hanging out with them, which is a weird mix of the two of them. They really outdid themselves at the Ben Cooper Company with this one. This is just all kinds of weird. But I like it. So Stan Laurel, again, his head came from the molds of the Movieland Wax Museum. Oliver Hardy, same thing. And if you look at them from this angle here, you will see that Ollie's not too happy with what Stan's doing. So that is the Chaney Room. Of course, we have more signatures on the Wall of Fame over here. And that'll do it for the Chaney Room, Part 3 of the Planet Wallywood mini tour.